Hello, thank you for joining us today. My name is Carlene.
I'm Jay. We are better known as Jaylene.
Today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 1, entitled So Ready SoCal. The episode starting out with each individual telling their family and friends that they were getting married. So the first one on the scene was Lindy. Lindy told her friends she was getting married. She had a religious upbringing where she couldn't dance or wear jewelry, but she experienced a one night stand. Um, it seems since she had such a strict upbringing, when she grew up, she wanted to do the exact opposite. Although Lindy is an emotional person, she tends to pick men who are emotional and unavailable. Lindy says, I want a real man. I want a man. Her friends told her to tell her future husband when she is hangry. Also, she is ready to have children.
So pretty much Lindy's a freak. Who's gonna put that out there right now? And she's very emotional, so Miguel is not, and that's gonna be an issue. And she says she wants a real man, which I mean she can't run over. So she's gonna run over Miguel because that's just his mo.
Okay, so Miguel told his friends who were dressed in costumes from Dungeons and Dragons that he was getting married. They were both shocked and surprised. Miguel's friends believe he avoids red flags and gives women he's dated multiple chances. I think this is because his mother left when he was younger. He wants a good listener because he will do the same.
I concur. He picks the same woman that's like his mom who left him. I don't understand why does he keep going back to these women. His ex girlfriend that kept doing whatever she was doing. He was catching her in these text messages, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna keep on going back to you. That's a sign where you lose respect from the woman if you're gonna keep on doing that. And also, which blew my mind, he likes that basic Caucasian sex. Why do you like very vanilla sex? Come on now. Your wife is gonna be a freak. You're gonna find that out. She gonna find you pretty boring, and that's one reason why she gonna leave you. His friends are worried also about him getting married based on his past relationship patterns.
The experts believe that Lindy and Miguel were matched because they are both highly emotionally intelligent. So the next person is Justin. Justin told his older brother and sister in law he was getting married, but he just couldn't get the words out. They looked surprised and said Justin just sprung the news on them. Justin was engaged 5 years ago, but it didn't pan out due to him not having sufficient finances. He states that he's been celibate for a year and a half. Justin says, it's just sex. I wanted something more than that. He wants a connection with someone. His older brother thinks he is rushing into getting married. Justin was emotional and thought his brother would be excited. His brother's words mean a lot to him because his brother raised him between the ages of 14 and 19. So I see him as a father figure.
Justin's been in San Diego for 7 months during the time of this filming. His last engagement ended because his ex pretty much wanted a sugar daddy. So she wanted the guy to be in a certain tax bracket and making money of someone who was probably in their 40s and 50s, and he's in his mid 20s at this point. So he's not gonna make that type of salary. I was feeling bad for him when he told his brother. Me as a wanting a support from my sibling, I would want happy for you, this, that, and the other. Even though I know he sprung it on him, I just wish his brother would have handled that better, and along with his sister-in-law.
Okay, then Alexis, she was telling her protective male friend she was getting married while they were playing sports. As we all know, she was proposed to 3 times. Alexis says, I was afraid of a marriage that would fail. Her parents got divorced when she was 18. She describes herself as being spoiled, and also she is the youngest of 3 girls. Alexis says, I thought everything needed to be perfect. Her friends advised her to work on her delivery and control her energy. She continued to point out the fact that she wants a tall man.
Alexa says she loves fast, which is not a good sign. And her friends also told her to watch how she's going to speak to her new husband. So either it's a tone issue, or she's too blunt, or she's not going to say something in a good way, even though it'll be bad news. And the proposals thing, I thought was more of a big deal than what it actually was. So her high school boyfriend proposed to her. Don't know what that's about. Her college boyfriend proposed to her, and some other guy in college proposed to her. So I don't take these proposals as serious proposals based on that age range of when she got with these guys.
The experts believe that Justin and Alexis were matched because they will balance each other out. Okay, the next person was Kristen. Kristen told her friends she was getting married. She wanted their support because she always supported them. Her friends thinks that she is a risk taker. Kristen thought that she would be married by now. She was engaged previously. Before the wedding, she was informed that her ex-fiance got someone else pregnant. That didn't stop Kristen from going on her destination wedding with friends and family minus a groom. I don't blame her. She spent her entire savings on this event. Kristen is the oldest of three girls, and her parents got a divorce when she was a teenager. Kristen says, in order to have something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done.
Yeah, she met her ex when she was 23. They dated for 5.5 years. And why are you spending your savings on a wedding? Does he have any money at all to chip in? What is that about? I know she was fear of not having any kids, but she's still young enough where she shouldn't have any issues having kids, God willing. Her friends talked to her about having sex with her future husband, asking about, is he circumcised, how's he going to be, and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was hilarious. And she doesn't want to tell her dad until the date of that she's getting married. I don't know what type of relationship that they have. She seems like she might be a daddy's girl, so I wouldn't understand why you want to wait till the last minute. I understand the last marriage did not work, and she said that she didn't want him to come over all out here, go to a wedding that may not happen just because of what happened last time. But that's another red flag for her. Now I don't see this going well for her at all.
Mitch told his brother, sister-in-law, nieces, and his mother that he was getting married, and they seemed excited. Mitch's parents got a divorce, so his older brother and sister-in-law portrays a healthy marriage for him. However, Mitch has never been in a committed relationship. His brother tried to educate him on relationships.
I don't have much for Mitch. He mentioned that his dad passed away in 2014. He mentioned that he's a loudmouth. So we're going to see how that plays out with him and Kristen. And he said his longest relationship was 2 to 3 years. And she has a issue with her, or worry about her future husband not being able to, or have her never had a committed relationship.
The experts believe that Kristen and Mitch were matched because they are secure in themselves and want to start a family soon.
We're going on to Morgan and Ben, right?
Yeah.
We're going to see how this dumpster fire going to play out. All right.
Next, we have Morgan telling her friends that she was getting married. Morgan likes Mai Tai, video games, and believes she is too independent. One friend even showed a chipped tooth that Morgan gave her while they were sparring. Morgan says, I like my freedom, independence, and control. She thinks she is getting a picture-perfect man.
Yeah, I don't see that happening at all. This is going to be very interesting. I like the fact that she plays video games. She likes to work out. She's into beating up her friends, knocking out the teeth, and chipping their teeth and all that stuff. Wanting her freedom, it's like her and Ben, they're not going to mesh well at all, just on that alone.
Then we have Ben telling his friends that he was getting married. They were excited, but started clowning his frugalness. He compares girls he's dated to his mom and says, my frugalness dictates relationships. I think this could be tricky because no one will meet or ever live up to the expectation of his mom. Ben says he would buy his wife stocks on her birthdays and anniversaries.
He compares every woman to his mother. This is going to be a train wreck. You can't compare every woman to your mother. He wants his future wife to be like his mother. Why? I don't understand that at all. He's not frugal. He's too effing cheap. He is too effing cheap. I don't see this working at all if you want to have kids and you already going to college. You gonna buy them clothes. They gonna eat, right? It's like, come on now. And I don't understand about giving a gift of stocks, bonds, or whatever to your wife for a present. She gonna look at him and want to slap him in the face or knock one of his teeth out.
The experts believe Morgan and Ben were matched because they worked hard on themselves to be a supportive partner. Stacia met up with her mother to let her know that she was getting married. Her mom wants to ensure her finances are secure and asks about a postnub. Stacy has been working and grinding and says, I don't need a man, I want a man. She's addicted to coffee and success. Stacy emancipated herself during her senior year of high school because her mom wanted to move. She doesn't know her biological father and was raised by her mom and stepdad.
Stacia was also focused on business and school. I wasn't really too worried about meeting someone and starting a family. She wants at least 2 kids, and since she's 37, she's going to get that up and going pretty quickly. Hopefully she doesn't have any kind of issues or anything like that, which would deter that. And her mom is also concerned about having a post-nup. Even though I believe Married at First Sight, once you signed a marriage agreement or a license, you come in with, you don't, the spouse cannot take anything from the other person. You come in with what you come in with, you leave in what you came in with. So she should be fine there.
Nate met up with his friends to let them know that he was getting married, and they seemed excited. He describes himself as a risk taker. He talked about being broke and sleeping in his car, and now he does day training. Nate wants to take care of a partner because he can take care of himself. He also made it clear that he deleted all his dating apps. I guess he saw last season and didn't want a scene similar to Katina and Olajuwon.
He also sold handbags, and he was told by cops that if you keep doing it, we're going to take you to jail. My thing when he said that didn't sound right. Like, where are these cops getting your number from at this young age? But it's neither here or there. He has an entrepreneurial mindset, and he said he wants to be a power couple with his future wife, and that he wants to build wealth. And when he said, yeah, I want to take care of my wife. Yeah, that ain't gonna work in this situation. She don't need you to take care of her.
The experts match Stacia and Nate because they want to accumulate wealth.
And I like them as a couple on paper, and that's it. I see why they put them together, but this ain't gonna work either. I'm excited to see the fireworks. I know that's sad to say, but that's gonna be good TV right there.
Okay, so we had the girls meeting. They met up at a restaurant, and it seemed like they were having a fun time getting to know each other. Alexis talked about being in a relationship. We know she loves being in a relationship. Kristen is worried if a guy is in his late 30s and never been in love. Also, she said if she's not attracted to the spouse immediately, she would find something else, but she's concerned if he's not attracted to her. Stacia wants an ambitious man. Morgan discussed her Japanese roots. And Lindy talked about needing an assertive man.
The only thing I found interesting at this whole entire scene is when production asks Alexis, so what do you really think of Lindy? And she was like, she's all right. I was like, you don't like that woman. Stop playing. Just be straightforward. She's going to see it later on anyway, but it's like, just be straightforward.
Then we had the guys meeting. I believe they met at a beach and they were playing volleyball. So Justin believes that women just wants the physical. And Mitch, he just kept on reacting. He had his mouth open every time Justin had something to say. And then we know that Mitch's never been in a committed relationship. Nate wants an ambitious woman. He admits to being selfish with his time and did not have good communication skills in his previous relationships. Ben discusses volunteer work and how he likes to save. He talked about he would be willing to compromise. And then Miguel, we know that he can be sensitive, and he shared a poem.
It looks like Justin loves to tell this story how he's a piece of meat and women just want to see what he's packing wet. I found it funny the first few times. It's still hilarious, but you don't have to keep telling the guys that. You tell the producers, you tell the experts when you first meet them, that's fine and dandy. We find it hilarious as audience initially. And then Miguel, when he read his poem, I don't know if it was just me or how production edited it, but it was crickets. I'm sure they gave him a compliment, but that was not good. But I'm not a poet, so.
Now it's time to do the wedding dress shopping. We have Lexus first up. She went with her friends. She talked about always wanting to be a wife, but had many failed relationships. Alexis wanted to make a good impression on her future spouse. Although she does not describe herself as a traditional woman, she wanted to make sure that her dress was discreet. When she found that perfect dress, she says, "This dress makes me feel like this is it." Then we had Justin going tux shopping with his brother and nephews. He states having PTSD from the previous engagement, but he still wants to get married. His brother wants his wife to challenge and nurture him. When he found that perfect tux, he says, "This suit says yes."
The only thing I found nice about this whole process of that scene was when Justin was feeling himself. I thought that was hilarious.
Then Stacia went shopping for her wedding dress with her mom and sister. She said she was past cold feet. When she found that perfect dress, she said, "I'm classy and sassy. I feel like a princess in this dress." She always wanted to call someone her person, but in that scene, she just could not stop crying. And then we had Nate. He went tux shopping with his friends. Referring to the tux, Nate says, "I want something bold." He knew the first suit was the one that his wife would be turned by his confidence.
Again, it's like, I don't know if it was just because we know the black people are just being animated, so that's what we're seeing in this episode. But Nate was feeling himself as well. And I'm not mad at the guys. When you looking good that day, it's cool to feel yourself a little bit. All right, and now we go to the bachelorette party and the bachelorette's party. Bachelor and bachelorette party. So Nate says he's a freak, and what he did at that bachelor party, I can't stand. I know a lot of people didn't like that either. He told one of the dancers to get on her knees and proceeded to put whipped cream in her mouth like it was some kind of sexual position. I'm like, what if that was your mom, your sister, or something like that? Just treat people the way you want to be treated, type of thing. Morgan, she was living her best life, dancing and having people making it rain on her in the club. So I thought that was funny. But she also says she hasn't had sex in 7 months, so she's looking for some vitamin D. She's looking for that vitamin D. Stacia, she said she like bad boys, and you see what I got you, so enough said there. And then Justin, I felt for him and when he was going back and forth with his brother, and brother was saying that, "I think you're making a mistake, you shouldn't be doing this," and they stormed off, and he was talking to the production saying, "This should not be happening, I hope it goes well," but he think it's going to end up badly.
Now we have Alexis and Justin getting ready for their big day, the wedding day. Alexis states that everything is coming too fast and she's trying to remain calm. Her mom came in and she couldn't stop crying. I like the way how her mom gave her a pep talk. Alexis was happy to receive her engagement ring. She reflected on her past proposals and how she said no. and now she's saying yes to someone she doesn't even know.
This is the most boring part of the episodes for me. The only thing I got out of this whole scene was her crying like a toddler. I thought that, I'm like, is that my child crying in the background? What's going on here?
Then we moved in on the scene with Justin. So his biggest fear is if he isn't attracted, if the wife isn't attracted to him. His brother is against the whole process, but Justin understands. His mother and brother greets Justin before he walked down the aisle. His brother had kind words, and Justin felt better, and they had a heartfelt hug. Justin walked down the aisle with his mom. He described what kind of nerves he was feeling, and he had a lot of adjectives to describe it. He reflected on his past engagement and how he was hurt. Obviously, he doesn't want to experience that again.
I'm glad him and his brother worked things out. His brother said he called them the next day. They hashed it out. So I'm happy that they're back on a good place.
Then during the wedding ceremony, Justin was there smiling from ear to ear. You know, he said, "Oh my God." Alexis walked down the aisle with her mom, and she was smiling too. They greeted one another at the altar. They had light conversation. Alexis gave the side eye where the officiant said Justin was annoying. However, she was happy knowing that he had a dog. Justin likes that Alexis is a powerhouse. Alexis' vows started off with a list of apologies and wanting to take care of him. Justin's vows included respect and passion for Alexis. Family and friends cried after his vows, and they said, "I do." After that, Alexis and Justin, they sat down, they talked, and Alexis was asking Justin why he was so tall. "I didn't know you can ask someone a question like that." Justin thinks that Alexis is his perfect wife. However, Alexis states that Justin is not her type physically. They asked about their ages and where they were from. Alexis is from New Jersey, and Justin is from Mobile, Alabama. They both want children. Justin told Alexis about his previous engagement 5 years ago. It seems like Justin was holding his breath until Alexis responded. And when she did, she was supportive, and he was happy. They held hands, and Alexis told him about her 3 proposals that she turned down. Justin was happy that she said yes to him. They were happy knowing that they had something in common, liking Drake.
I like the banter they had going back and forth. That's going to be interesting as long as she can be positive and fun going. But when he was smitten like that, that reminded me of Mindy and Zach from a previous season. And she was all up in, "Oh, I'm a perfect guy." And this is going to go down that same path. He's too happy about, he thinks he has the perfect wife and stuff like that. So that's not going to work. But when she said, "I want a tall man, I want a tall man," and then she see him like, "Oh, he's too tall." What do you want? Someone who's tall or too tall? It's like you're never happy. It's like you get what you ask for, but yet you're not happy.